Ladies and gentlemen, very good evening to everyone. We are here. Welcome to the VCT Game Changers Southeast Asia FSL Open 6 playoffs. Yes, we're already at number 6. It's a tournament circuit that's dedicated to growing the competitive women's gaming scene here in the region, sponsored by Intel, supported by Yahoo. Today is day 2 of the playoffs, and we will be watching 4 teams compete in 2 very exciting upper bracket matches. I am your host, Tanya May, bringing it to you live here from Sunnyside, Singapore. And joining me on the desk this evening is the one and only Ilustrado from the Philippines. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm pretty psyched about the matches that we got coming up here. Like we have Renatus White, first of our matches, and they're going up against Alter Ego Celeste. Now, when you're talking about these two teams here, Renatus White is one of the teams who you look to. Okay, maybe a chance for them to be able to take this up against Renatus White. I mean, Alter Ego Celeste. Excuse me.
Yeah, from the Singapore, right, Renatus White, we've seen them in the previous Open. Unfortunately, that is also where they fell to the lower bracket right here on day 2. So it is a very tall order, though. It feels like they might just go through the same thing in this bracket because they have to meet Alter Ego Celeste. But it is pretty exciting because these two teams actually did not meet in the previous Open.
Apologies. I think my camera cut out right there, but they did not meet. And it was a little bit unfortunate because Renatus White got to go to the lower bracket before they even had a chance at going up against Alter Ego Celeste. I felt like the last Open, this was the chance for Renatus White to prove themselves. But this time, I think this is an even bigger opportunity for them. With KMO and Magnifique being out of the picture, this is one of those moments where you look at Renatus White and they're going to be taking the helm or, stepping up to the plate and hoping for a grand slam here. Because if there's any team I think that has a good chance of taking out Alter Ego Celeste, one of the teams that comes to the front of your mind or the forerunners, it's going to be Renatus White, and this is one opportunity they can't miss. It's the last time they can do this year here in the opens.
Yeah, and they have been really consistent in making it to playoffs, and they have to be feeling good about themselves, right? Because just to recap on what happened yesterday, here on the English stream, they did take out Hashira from the Philippines in a 2-0. And Alter Ego Celeste also swept Wildfire Sphinx, which we saw for the very first time, a Singapore team comprising of well-known streamers with a lot of fans cheering for them. Also a clear 2-0 as we take a look at the brackets. In fact, everyone who won yesterday was a clean 2-0.
It's one of those days where you look and, okay, this is kind of where we thin out the herd here. You kind of want to get all the top teams in contention moving forward. And I think this is pretty much as good as a bracket as you can ask for here. You got some of the best teams going up against one another. It's a little bit heartbreaking that you do see the two Filipino squads going up against each other very early on, Galaxy Racer and Oasis. These two teams are obviously a couple of the best teams that we have around here. And at the end of it all, one of them is going to go knock it down to the lower bracket. And that lower bracket gauntlet that they have to fight through, it's definitely not going to be an easy feat if they want to go up against Alter Ego Celeste and what is most likely going to be them in the grand final.
Absolutely. And Galaxy Racer, of course, did pull it off in the last Open. They came in second. They really gave Alter Ego a hard time. A lot of the matches were really close, even though Alter Ego managed to pull off that perfect sweep. But still, every time we come back here, we're thinking maybe these teams are going to push them just a little bit more.
Yeah, it's very much a hopeful thing. Like we hope that it happens. We hope somebody's able to take them to a game number 5 or even a game number 3. It's just not very likely. We talk about the team Alter Ego Celeste and the times that they've lost on this entire circuit, this entire year, you can count on one hand. They've lost like what, 2 games, and it looks like they're continuing this trend here. So if you guys at home, if you guys are not familiar with Alter Ego Celeste, they are quite literally speaking the team that is right now. They have a very good chance at sweeping this entire Open from FSL Open 1 to all the way up to this FSL Open. They have a chance at actually getting the top prize in the first place at every single one of them. That's how good they are.
Yeah, they won every single Open so far this year, and last year they were 4 out of 5. Right, and really, I think the last time I remember them losing was really against Oasis in Open 4, where they dropped maps on Icebox and Breeze. But that feels like it's such a long time ago.
It does. time feels like it's going a lot quicker in in this entire situation that we have with the world and the
Yeah.
pandemic and all. And it seems like it's going even quicker when you're talking about the growth of a lot of these teams. It just feels like when you have tournaments like this, like FSL Open, like the entirety of the VCT Game Changers, it supercharges each and every single region and every scene, which is why you get more and more teams coming out that are up to standard, and that can actually start to challenge and basically change the face of the esports scene locally and international.
Absolutely. I'm so grateful for this tournament. I'm so grateful that we get game changers, right? Because it's a brand new initiative that just started this year. And in fact, they are putting it to League of Legends as well. So it's not just Valorant. Riot is doing so much for the women all across the globe. And it's really, really good to see them level up because you can see like they never had this platform previously. And having this and seeing them grow is also so rewarding for us as viewers.
Yeah, and personally speaking, just from my own perspective here, a lot of the opportunities that weren't available to these women are now being presented to them, and that's such a good deal. If we want to start seeing women really competing in male dominated leagues, this is how you get that started. You want to have them. First of all, you shed that bias. You shed the fact that, oh, just because she's a woman gamer, she cannot compete. That is just absolutely not true. So we start with that. And then we go further and further until we have just top tier females in esports that are just dominating the scene. That's the goal eventually that we're hoping to see, and this is definitely one of the best ways to start approaching that.
And the frequency as well, it's not just a one-off thing. Having our circuit here, we're already in Open 6. So, and having like 4 out of 5 of them last year, uh, it's really good because they have that constant practice. Every month we're back here, we're watching them, and we also here back at the desk. And just taking a look at just how the entire circuit has been. From FSL Open, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we will be taking a look at the how we're going to lead into the FSL Open time as well as wildcard.
Yeah, we are still in FSL Open 7, so ladies and gentlemen, fortunately, you'll be able to hang out with us a little bit longer because all the way up until October, we've got you covered. So we got overtime, we got wild card, and we've got elite at the very end of it, which is happening on the 23rd to the 24th and the 30th to the 31st of October. Now, this is all going to end up in one of the most important tournaments I think that this scene has to offer. Just the fact that you have a stage for these amazing talents and amazing players to compete on is so much of a big deal for, I think, this not just for women in general, but also just for the entire Southeast Asian community who has been clamoring for an opportunity to fight for a large prize pool like FSL Elite's $25,000. Yeah, that's a lot of money that we're playing for, and definitely nothing to bat an eye at.
Definitely. And of course, each open we have 5,000 USD that's going to be spread out again over all the teams. So first place 1,500, second 1,200, and third, and so on and so forth. That's a breakdown of the prize pool right there. It's also like super good incentives because finally, women are not just competing for free.
Oh yeah, it's very much they the fact that they can be rewarded for this endeavors, the fact that they can be paid for and rewarded for every single hour that they've put into a game is already
Absolutely.
a very big stepping stone. It's not just something that they go in and do for fun, which is, yeah, sure, this is all fun in games. A lot of this is fun. This is all an esport title. But this is the lives of people at stake. This is how you get people who can be dedicated professionals. This is how you can get those players who dedicate their lives to doing this as a career. If you are able to give them the ability to use this opportunity, this platform, to make it into their livelihood.
Yeah, and sitting on top of the leaderboard is Alter Ego Celeste, who has already qualified for Elite. So another 2 more teams here are trying to fight their way through to get to Elite.
Yeah. And of course, we do have the current standings. We're taking a look at them right now. It's Alter Ego Celeste at the very top, like you mentioned. Galaxy Racer, they're in a pretty comfortable spot, I'd say. They have 33, but it's not that comfortable because look at who's right behind them. You got Renatus White, who's at 27. Arikat Aresta is at 26. Oasis Gaming Aqua's got 21. So it's definitely not them out of the woods just yet. They still have to play really well. What's interesting to me is that Wildfire Spinks actually has 11 points, and if they can progress, they might actually have a chance at qualifying into Elite if they can play well. They do have to contend with Hashira, though, who is they're in 15th place. They're at the very bottom with only 7 points. But they have an opportunity here. If they can go all the way, maybe pick up a few points, get some upsets here and there, we might actually be seeing them in the Elite, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's gonna be really tough though. And already we look at number 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, those points are so close. Every advancement here in the playoffs is going to be really important for these teams. But it is, of course, a tall order because our very first game today, we are going to see Alter Ego go up against Renatus White. And I'm
Yeah.
really, really excited about this matchup actually, because not just because they didn't meet each other the last time around, because they were in separate brackets, but also the fact that we're starting off with Alter Ego, and yesterday already, day one, we have here Therathriel, Inari, Iceberg, Ayumi, Margot, and Aureophilia. They are already shaking up the meta because yesterday they did not even drop a single duelist on the first map on Split.
I think it's because they know that they can get away at this point. I mean, they're secured already, right? This is where they can have a little bit of leeway to experiment
And
with some
fun.
lineups and fun, have a lot of fun too, and also to see what works at a competitive level and what they can really bring out when push comes to shove, maybe when it comes to Elite itself.
Yeah, they are obviously going up against Renatus White here. Envious, Rue, Mochiex, Kohibi, and Kphrodite. The important thing to point out here is that we do have Rue, right? Because Chloe is actually going to sit out of this open. And Envious and Chloe were really the glue of the team. They are the ones who started this. And without Chloe, I guess the question for Renatus going into the playoffs is, how are they going to adapt? Because Chloe has been together with Envious for so long. Their synergy, Envious obviously the IGL, the shot caller right there. And I'm just wondering how things will change up because yesterday we saw Envious on Sage.
Okay, look, I agree. It's a great point that you make there. When you're changing the team dynamic, and the core players very late into a season, it poses a lot of questions. And it challenges the team in certain ways that they might not be able to figure out the answers to. There were a couple of shaky rounds yesterday from Renatus White, but overall they look like they're adjusting pretty well. Having said that, though, their test was up against Hashira yesterday, which proved to be a little bit of a stomp, I'd say. So, okay, very much a stomp here. So if they can actually continue this and show that even without Chloe, that they are still a dominant team, and this might actually be a new honeymoon phase, who knows how far they could go.
Absolutely, and they're really reliant on Kohibi. Kohibi, if you look at the stats from FSL Open 5, she's actually has the highest ACS above Ayumi and Inari. So all eyes is going to be on her for this team.
Definitely. But yeah, we do have, I'd say, a pretty good matchup that we have here. One of the truest tests for Renatus White. I mean, what better way to test your new lineup, your roster without Chloe, than to go up against literally the best team, I think, here in FSL. And if you're able to do that and come out of this either on top or at least with a couple of really good wins under your belt, then this is a very good sign from Renatus White.
And I have to say, they did look a little bit better on defense yesterday. Because even though Envious is the duelist, she actually got most of her kills on defense on that jet. And I don't know, like I feel like as you said, when you make a roster change so late here, it kind of changes their agent composition, their team dynamic, and you can see it play out when they are in those games.
It trickles down to everything they go to, even the map vetoes, like even the maps that they choose, which can be very much affected by who you have on your roster at any given time. Now, Chloe, without her, I wonder how they're going to approach this lineup here. And as we can see, it's already a little bit of a change-up. Breeze is being selected here by Renatus White, and this is something that we're not 100% used to seeing, especially from them. But I think they realize here that with their new player, with Alter Ego going up against Alter Ego Celestè, with their new lineup, they can't afford to choose a new map and maybe use that shock therapy to get into the head of Alter Ego Celestè.
Yeah, I actually really like that they chose Breeze because a lot of teams end up choosing Split or Ascent against Alter Ego, and that's really their playground, right? You don't really want to fight Alter Ego on those maps. So I think putting in Breeze right at the start is really changing things up. It's gonna make Alter Ego think twice. Renatus, why as open as Breeze is, the game also should be as open because it's a new map. They have so much to play around, and it's gonna be difficult to see like how they play out their agent composition or how they adapt to Alter Ego. But I think Breeze gives them a really good chance.
I agree. I like the idea of going for the Breeze. I mean, if you're going up against Alter Ego Celeste, sometimes you really got to take a risk here because if you play your standard game, if you do everything that you've done before where they've beaten you, then you're not going to win again because they're, you have to force Alter Ego Celeste to adjust. You have to make them play a different play style. You have to make them get out of that comfort zone. And one way of doing that is to actually go into the maps that they're a little bit more uncomfortable on, namely Breeze, namely Icebox. We're not seeing Icebox today, but again, on Breeze, it's going to be, a very, very interesting, I'd say, prospect for them. However, Split and Ascent, this is going to be, I think, a very much a very
Also
interesting
ego
prospect.
favored.
Yeah, it's very ego favored. They're very confident. They'll win it 100%, I feel like. So for me, if there's any chance of Renatus White winning this series, if there's any modicum of a chance that they have to win on the first two maps.
Yeah, we're gonna be jumping right into game because the teams are ready. I'm gonna hand it off to you, Illustrator, as well as Kentrol here. I'm Quack. Take it away.
Ooh, hey, welcome. Yo, Quack. You just transformed right before my eyes.
Yeah, I was Tanya a second ago, and then now I'm Quack. What's up, dude?
I mean, I dig it. It's cool. Like, we can chill out. We're the boys. We're back here, and it's gonna be the first series of the day. We got FSL Open number 7, very close to the very end of it, and we got one of the best matchups we could ask for. Quack. We got Renatus White versus Alter Ego Celeste. I talked about this with Tanya a second ago. I didn't get to go over it with you. How are you? What are your thoughts on this one?
I mean, I think you said it all. I love the fact that you pointed out that Renatus going up against Alter Ego Celeste. Yeah, let's not beat around the bush. This is a very daunting task. This is an unbeatable team. I mean, the record from last month's Open, they didn't drop a single map, but picking Breeze, this is definitely something that puts them out of their comfort zone. It's time to get wet and sandy. I mean, if you watch like Navy SEAL documentaries, you know what that means. It's time to get all nitty gritty, get the sand all up in your place, and try to pull something out. Because if they have to take a map off of Alter Ego Celeste, like you said, this is the one to do it.
I don't know what kind of documentaries you've been watching, man.
Navy
but,
SEALs, come on.
Right, okay. Yeah, whatever you say there, buddy. Whatever you say. But we will be going into Breeze, and we're gonna start it off with Alter Ego Celeste going up on the defensive side and Renatus White on the attacking side. So honestly, I have to see the compositions and how this is going to be. I do like the fact that Renatus White is going with a double initiator. I think this is a great idea on Breeze. This is one of the maps that really lends itself to having a lot of, I'd say, initiators like that. Sova to get information, as well as the Sky with those long range flashes. It's perfect for it. But it might just be a mirror matchup yet again here because Alter Ego Celeste, they got the same ideas.
Almost entirely the same. I mean, in fact, that's actually kind of different from what they played last month. The time that Alter Ego Celeste played Breeze was actually against GXR, I guess the team that you're rooting for. And on that map, Tarathiel actually picked Sage instead of what she's going for right now, and that's Cypher. So I don't know. I mean, do you have any thoughts on that? Are they purposefully picking Cypher to counter maybe some Jet players here and there?
Perhaps. I think Cypher is just a little bit of a safer bet. They're probably going to go for that Cypher as a little bit more of a fail-safe, because they're starting on the defensive side just to boost whatever, defensive needs they may have. And I think it's just something a little bit precautionary here because if Renatus White come out with some crazy aggressive plays, one of the best ways that they can shut them down is by actually having a good Sentinel and not Sage. I'm really not too much a fan here of the Sage, especially on the defensive side.
Hmm.
If you're starting out on Breeze, I think, on attacking side, sure, bring up that Sage to help you get those spike plants down, to wall off certain angles. But on the defensive side, there's very little that the Sage can do.
Exactly, the wall. I mean, it's a nice little tool, but the stalling abilities of that, it just doesn't do as much anymore. But here we go, round is going to start, and just to start things off, it looks like Alter Ego Celestè want to go for this ace split. In fact, Inari, she's going to be the one to get all of that useful information. Marco goes in for the swing, finds an instant headshot, but immediately gets traded.
Good couple of kills to start off the round, but look at the HP right now on Renatus White. They're all so low and they're getting whittled away, and it's looking like another clean attack here on the pistol by Alter Ego Celestè. This defense is just unbreakable as Ayumi gets that final kill up onto Mochi. Actually, they get the plant and they get a kill. Certainly, it's all well and good, but on the attacking side, we're already starting to see signs at the very, very beginning of the game. Already less dominance.
I mean, can we expect anything less from these guys? I mean, I'm going to take a page out of your fellow VCT PH caster's book, Dax. This just goes to show that Alter Ego Celestè are that strong, and right now they're even piling up on this. They're going with triple marshals.
I love the marshals. This is one of those maps where if you go ahead and pick up 5 marshals, it's still probably gonna work on those anti-eco buy rounds, just because you can do so much with it. The map is long angles right here. Kohaibi, I think it's spotted. On the other side is also gonna be waiting a marshal. So you have 3 marshals, and there's so many places you can go with this Quack. You can go to halls, you can go peak A, you can go peak B. And it's just a dream for any sniper.
Exactly, and at the same time, the fact that most of the RTS players don't have shields, and in fact, all of them don't have shields, it's pretty much going to be a one-hit kill anywhere towards center mass, and that's what Ayumi's trying to do right now, going for the re-peaks, but maybe a little bit of movement error. Her shots are not going to connect.
Yeah, that's one thing you have to account for. The aiming is a little bit different on the Marshal than it is on the Operator. Probably none of them are hitting their shots, actually. They're all kind of missing, but Margot is going to bring some balance in the universe as she does claim a couple of kills with the Spectre right there. It's going to leave us in a... Never mind, they're all dead.
They are all dead. I mean, it just turned into, I mean, you know, this is Breeze, but it suddenly became like the beaches of Normandy. Long-range duels, it's just a complete bloodbath in towards mid, and that's the kind of thing that you expect to happen. You got someone who plays up close like Margot, she has the Spectre. The rest of the team on Marshals maybe not quite connecting their shots, but you still feel that immense pressure. Nowhere is safe, and especially not mid, which is such an open field. I mean, now onto the third round, they're going with the full buy, so this one has to count.
They have a pretty decent buy. They've got everybody on full rifles and a little bit of a technical timeout. Okay, so we are going to be stalling the game just a little bit longer, but like you mentioned, there are going to be 5 rifles here. They have to make this count. If there's any way for Renatus White to win this map, I think they need to have a very dominant attacking side, because when Alter Ego Celestè get on their attacking side, man, they are like bloodhounds. They just swarm together like a pack of wolves, and they will just ravage a site and leave scorched earth behind it. So if you're asking me, Renatus White, they have to build up maybe at least 5 or 6 rounds on this attack.
5 or 6, yeah, actually that doesn't sound too bad. In fact, it's quite decent, but they're still going to need a lot more than that, just because they're going up against Alter Ego Celestè.
Yeah, fair enough.
Still though, I mean, Elu, it's not too bad. In fact, I want to point out something a little bit, I guess, maybe interesting, if you would think that. Kohaibi, who tends to play Reyna, in fact, the last time that she played Breeze, which was against Magnifique last month, she was playing Reyna. This time she's on Skye. Now, why do you think that is?
I feel like, you know, it has to be all about the long-range engagement here, because we don't really see Breeze, especially not for Alter Ego Celestè. This could be a comfort pick, or this could be just Kohaibi adjusting to the long-range nature of the map. I mean, Reyna is all well and good, but when you have a Skye in your pocket, the double initiator really does a load for the team right there. It's a very meta composition, and this allows them to get so much more information than they wouldn't get otherwise, because with a dog at the very start, you can clear out those close corners, the Trailblazer. And alongside the Algro, it's a lot of information they've given. So now they're going to try to dash onto A. They haven't actually cleared out Mochi X right now. That's a good tripwire. Gets blinded, has information onto 2, but through the smoke, Envious just to sniff out to Wrath.
Very nicely done, and they will be able to get the spike planted. Question is, though, do they know that Margot is actually on a big flank right now in towards Elbow, and she might actually be able to catch off? Yep, that is it. Mochi will be the first to fall on the side of RTS, and now the collapse starts to happen. Still, though, it's 1 Vandal in the hands of Margot, 2 Marshals in the hands of Iceberg and Ayumi. It's not going to be the easiest fight for AEC. They have to be very careful about how they approach this. In fact, creeping up towards the wall, it's going to be K4Dyney who swings out huge, and then Kohibi closes this out with a headshot on towards Margot. Finally, RTS picks up 1 round, but will they be able to ride this wave?
I don't think so. Look, they lost 4 members on it. They might even have the eco on this. The economy from Renatus White, they're going to be absolutely shattered. Oh, I take that back. They will be able to buy 5 rifles, because normally you won't be able to if you lose that bonus round, if you lose against the bonus round with so many losses. But fortunately for them, they'll be able to buy up a pretty decent set of arsenals here, a set of weaponries, because look, they only have, however, they do have 25 armor only on Mochi X and Rue, so that might bite them in the back, especially in a long-range map like Breeze. See what they can do about it here as they gather their forces towards A.
That's right. I mean, you gotta consider the light shields. A couple, maybe 4 bullets from Vandal, and that means you're dead. So they still have to be careful about this, using the toxic screen just to slice the A site in half. But look at how they're positioned. They want to make this A hit happen, but they know that the aim duels against AAC aren't going to be the easiest. In fact, they're just kind of biding their time right now. No one from AAC is peeking them. In fact, except for maybe Ayumi, just going for some of that info. She is going to find Envious. As soon as that happens, goes back in, re-peeks, gets the frag, and then backs out.
Not so sure about that solo peek right there from Envious, especially with nobody right behind him to trade. It did have K4Dyney, but it was a little bit lackluster. However, this attack's starting to take shape. Okay, great stuff as they find a couple of decisive kills. The Viper's Pit will allow them to secure that spike down. This leaves only Iceberg and Tarathiel coming up for this retake, and these are the 2 intel agents. If there's any 2 agents that can actually find a way into that Viper's Pit and find the decisive picks, it's going to be these 2. But can they actually get onto it? Nice tag with a shock dart. It's able to get a kill onto Mochi X, followed by that from Iceberg. So they're gonna try to work their way in, as Iceberg does get spotted out. And the round should start to fall into a 1v1. I take things back to Rathiel. Pulls it out of nowhere, and like I said, Quack, if there's any 2 agents that can find their way, can wiggle their way in a Viper's Pit, it's the 2 intel agents. That's gonna be the Sova and the Cypher. Well played from the 2 Alter Ego members.
That is insane. I mean, you said it all. You gotta think the Viper's Pit, yeah, it's an ultimate. You got huge decay value and whatnot in there, but at the end of the day, it's just a big smoke screen. And if you're going up against 2 intel agents, you got your recon. I mean, to be fair, it was on cooldown, but the way that they played it, the way that they used the shock dart to make sure that they were staying inside, and then Iceberg pushing in, just playing off of each other's contact, this is absolutely beautiful. Right now, going aggressive with the knife. She's going to make a quick double. And then, is she going to go for this? Pushing out of shop. She's being a little bit cautious. The spike has been dropped, though, so I don't know. RTS right now, they are starting to sweat nervously.
The confidence right there of Ayumi. Look at what she's doing. She's just running up on them. Kohibi gets a great double, and that's going to force a couple of rebuys, but only a couple, as Renatus will manage to get a couple of kills here, but no more than that. Alter Ego Celestè have found a very comfortable lead here, and their economy starting to bloom, starting to swell to almost uncontrollable proportions. Now, Renatus White, they're going to have to win 2, maybe 3 rounds in a row just to shut down this economy of Alter Ego Celestè, and that's going to be a tough feat, especially when Ayumi's hitting shots like this.
God damn. I mean, this is what AEC loves to do. You know, they might have their ultimates, but they're not going to save it for a rainy day. They're just going to push in, you know, especially because you're on eco. They just want to bulldoze you all the way through. They're on to 4 wins right now, possibly a 5th. But let's see if RTS can actually pull off a miracle. They've got the full buy. They're using the Seekers, and Margo's immediately backing out of this. Gets tagged by the Hunter's Fury, and she's going to drop dead. Now the rest of the team pushing on towards site. They're going to be able to get the spike planted. But can this retake actually happen from AEC? What do you think?
Looking like a tough one because they're all gone. Through.
What?
In the blink of an eye, Ayumi managed just to land a nice tap on the dome of Rue. You know, I like the play from Alter Ego Celeste to actually deal with the Viper's Pit. It was really well played. They throw out the Seekers and the Hunter's Fury right on top of one another just to get that kill and bring down the Hunter's Fury. However, what they didn't expect is that the flank from Alter Ego Celeste, the double flank, was just immediate because Alter Ego Celeste took that mid control so fast at the very beginning of the round that Renatus White didn't have any control over it.
Insanely quick, and I think that might be the key phrase that you just mentioned, Ian. Mid control. This is something that RTS hasn't quite abused in the previous rounds. I mean,
not
the
at
one
all.
time that they actually went to its mid once, but that was when Alter Ego Celeste had the Marshals, and it was the second round. They all got destroyed. Right now, back in towards A cave, 0 mid control. This is a lot of information for Alter Ego Celeste, and it's just a matter of time. Again, they are on Sheriffs and Marshals, so RTS, what are you going to do?
They're going to have to dig deep, for sure. And this is one way to start things off here. A good pick onto Envious. Build that confidence for Envious. Let her get those picks. She's going to drop that Vandal onto teammates right now. And yeah, there we go. That plays for the rest of the round. We'll swap over a Marshall. Just get a little bit hairy. But here we go. We talked about this. The mid control from Alter Ego Celeste and Harry holding up around double doors just to make sure that they have control over it here. And it's going to be all about who can land the first frag. And this looks like it's going to be end by the second. So that's already for this eco round by Renatus White. How can they close out the round? They might not expect Margot, who's just right around this corner here. They actually check her, but Envious is good for the third. That's a triple kill right there. Looking for the force, denied by Ayumi, but it's still a 3v2.
Not too bad, not too bad. Remember, this was a round that was pretty much a thrifty for RTS, and they are actually able to get spiked down. It's already a nice economy boost. And the fact that they've taken out 3 players as well is just even better. But Ayumi going in, she's able to find the first. Comes in with the Sheriffs, takes down one. This is Kohaibi we're talking about. She swings out, she finds her, and that's gonna be round number 2 for RTS.
Ayumi so afraid of that flag that could have come in from double doors there that she checks the wrong way. I like the play from Kohaibi not to make a sound, not a single sound at all, just holding towards the edge of that pyramid, waiting for the right time to strike, and she finds the perfect moment. She strikes while the iron is hot and secures the second round from Renatus White. But this is all going to be about continuity here for Renatus White. Can they actually find a successful string of rounds, a succession of rounds for them, and build up that economy? Because, like I said earlier, Alter Ego Celeste, their economy, it's not really being challenged that much. And it's allowing them to buy almost whatever gun that they want.
That's absolutely right. I mean, right now, you might see a Yumi on a Marshall, but that's just because she has her Blade Storms available as well. So RTS, they got to be careful. In fact, right now they're actually thinking of making the exact same play that they did earlier. Toxic screen goes up, they want to push in, but the one that you got to watch out for is actually Margot. Comes up huge, she finds the first, but doesn't get the trade. It's going to be Kfradadi. Pushes in along with her team now. 3v4, and the site is not quite secure yet. Can they actually? Okay, they're going to think of
the flag
spike planted, but iceberg. And that's right, the flag is just piling on as well. This is merciless coming in from Alter Ego Celeste, absolutely demolishing RTS. No chance at all, no room to breathe. How do you come back from this, Elu?
You need to start shutting down that mid control by Alter Ego Celeste. They have been flanked time and time again. Either whether they're going for a B push or whether they're going for an A push, it seems like Alter Ego Celeste is hot on their tails, and that's because they haven't been doing enough to deny mid control from Alter Ego Celeste. This is their map choice, so they should know that the rotation from this spawn, from the defensive side, could be so immediate if that mid control is left unchecked, and that's exactly what's happening now. Ayumi Got an operator in her hands, looking to go for a duel here towards mid. She'll be able to spot out the leg of excuse me, it is Envious, and yeah, she does land it. And she's gonna press on forward, go and look for even more kills as the sights and mid control completely relinquished yet again by Renatus White.
That is just absolutely unbelievable. And Neri right now finding the second frag as well. There's only 3 players remaining. I might have a hero vandal, but is it going to be enough? That's the question.
Oh,
in fact, no, not at all. This is going to be a quick quadra for Neri coming in from the sides. And Alter Ego Celeste are not slowing down. I mean, we talked about map control, and Alter Ego Celeste have a perfect read, a perfect picture of how RTS are looking to play this. They see an opening and they exploit it.
And they know that the weakness of Renatus White here is their mid. And so they're just going for it every single round. Ayumi, she's solo peeking with an operator towards mid out of double doors, even though there's always going to be a risk that someone's going to come out and swing her from multiple angles. That's just how confident Ayumi is right now, and she still gets those picks here. So, Alter Ego Celeste, they finally wisen up. Okay, they're committing 2 members to watch for the push towards mid. However, it's not going to be the right call this time, as the members of Alter Ego Celeste, they have decided to play a little bit more passively towards that mid area. They're starting to give way a little bit more here. And Aldron, that might actually suck. No, it doesn't. It goes towards elbow, but still, it's mid control finally being secured for Renatus.
Oh man, it was kind of secured, but as soon as they went in for the peek, it's going to be a Neri. I mean, out of all the players on the side of Alter Ego Celeste that you want to peek into, a Neri is not one of them.
Oh, yeah.
But still, they're going to make their way through mid doors, in towards the A site. Kohibi leading the charge, finding 2 headshots already. Prepares his Seekers as well. They will take control over this. But will they be able to hold it for long?
Kohibi with a beautiful triple has secrets of her own now to be deployed, and she's going to use that to get information on where the remainder of the forces of Alter Ego Celeste are. This time is ticking away as the spike has been dropped here. They might not expect Kohibi has crept up very close. She's been getting a lot of shots. She lines up another one. The 4th kill for her. No ace. Mochix is happy to claim it for her team, and I guess she has to just live that ace vicariously through her teammate.
Of course, that's what we should do. At the end of the day, it's not all just about the kill streaks and the kill feeds, but you want to secure the round win. 3-7, not too bad. What do you think about a 5-7, Elu?
I think it's doable. I think it's a pretty good scoreline for Renatus White, but they really need to stop letting go of these rounds because they haven't won 2 rounds in a row. It's 1 round and then a loss and then a round and then a loss here. So if they want to get this 7-5, they're going to have to play some of the cleanest offense that they've had. And they found a little bit of a way to do that. It's that mid control that they have been finally going for here. Now they're rotating off a little bit just to make sure and play a little bit more passively.
Nice.
And that passive play actually nets them a kill. Rue gets that kill onto Ayumi, weakens the forces. That's the operator gone. And on a map like Breeze, that's a massive kill to find.
Absolutely huge. And not to mention, I mean, in terms of ultimate economy, RTS have the advantage. Still though, they gotta be careful. Margot has been very, very slippery with her toxic screens. They might not know that she's tucked away in this corner. And of course she gets checked, but Rue will get shut down instead. And then Kohibi tried to trade, but then gets fragged out. Oh my god. They were pushing in. What just happened? Tarathiel now just finding another kill. It's all up to Mochi from mid. Cannot find anything. And all of a sudden, a 3-7 turned into a 3-8.
Round before the switch.
It's that false sense of security that they got, assuming that the back of that site was absolutely clear. Little did they know that right behind that Viper wall, there actually was Margot. And if there's any player on the Alter Ego Celeste that can punish those kind of plays, it's Margot. Because she is so good at finding those off angles or those positions that people don't really check, finding those blind spots in the offense of a team and just striking when it's completely appropriate. That nets them a beautiful round again. And Renatus White, they will once more be forced onto a weaker bye.
Weaker bye. This is the last round of the first half. Not the time you want to have it, but they'll have to make do with it regardless. Viper's Pit, I mean, this is just an expansion of domain in towards a cave, and it has been completely locked off. If you're RTS right now, your options are to rotate or push through, and then of course you don't want to push through. Actually, rotations will work. They are able to take a Neri down this time. Still though,
Yeah,
it's going to be a quick race down towards B site.
uncharacteristic misses from Inari. There's quite a few shots that could have went her way, but instead it's going to be towards the B side that they find themselves. That's going to be a great hold for now as Tarathiel and Iceberg. The crossfire is quick and very punishing. The follow-up flash is beautiful. And look at this. The teamwork between the members of Alter Ego Celeste compensate for the lack of manpower that they initially had, and they just willed away the RTS offense.
Absolutely, just Alter Ego Celeste doing their thing. I mean, the second you think that you have an advantage, the second you think you're able to walk onto site, no, you got players like Margot who are able to sneak around corners, find off angles. If you're thinking that, okay, you find a pick onto a Neri, you want to rotate onto B, AEC are already fully aware of your current plans, and they're just that quick. They rotate as fast as they need to, they turn it into a firing range, and RTS are unable to secure a single thing. It's 3-9, start of the second half. Do you think defense will be where RTS are slightly more comfortable?
Well, it has to be. It has to be, otherwise they wouldn't have picked it like this, right? And it's already a very frightening prospect. I do want to point out, though, I think RTS jumped the gun a little bit on that execute. They didn't wait for the Viper's Pit to fully expand before they went in. And that led them to the crossfire just taking them down onto that B side. Hopefully they'll have some good setups of their own here as we go into this defensive half for Renatus White. But it looks like the offense already coming into play. Envious with a great double. That's going to weaken the offense for now, but she's found 3. Hasn't gone down just yet. 7 HP finally been taken out, but that's still 3 players left standing for Renatus White on the defense. The spike hasn't gone down. They fake it for the meantime. The shock dart actually does all the work that it needs to do. And the double swing is timed to perfection as Renatus White secured their 4th.
Timed to perfection. It's like you're cooking hot pockets in your microwave or something, and you go leave to get a drink, maybe
that's impossible.
Queue for a game, and then you hear the ding on the microwave as soon as you get queued in. Into the
that is just impossible. A hot pocket will always be too hot. There's just no. It always is just always lava the moment you bite into it.
Hey man, that's why they're called hot pockets. What are you biting into, Elu?
Yeah.
You want a lukewarm pocket?
No,
I'm kidding.
That doesn't sound like fun.
Still, yeah, we got marshals on Alter Ego Celeste.
And look at the buy though. Renatus White, they're going for the buys. Well, they're going for 4 Spectres and in Ares here. Alter Ego Celeste, they know they have rounds to lose, and so they're happy to give away, maybe to take a chance rather, at maybe getting an upset here with the Marshal. So they're going to play the slow pick game. That's what you want to do with the Marshals. You're not going to go run in guns blazing all akimbo style. You want to find the initial headshot. You want to be able to land the first target. So it doesn't look like it's happening as Kefrodite long range doesn't nail that shot and get Ayumi taken out of the picture.
Yeah, once you hear that gunfire from the Ares, I don't think you want to peek into it anymore. In fact, you definitely don't want to push out. But Margot, still the ninja. In fact, she kind of got out ninja'd by Kefrodite this time around. So RTS, they should be fully aware that there are players on the other side of Cave. They try to push past it, but they will be met by an onslaught of Spectres. It's a flawless victory for Renatus White, and starting to come into their own. I mean, this is not too bad, but full buys from AEC now. This is the run. This is the one that you got to look out for.
If there's anything that can really boost the confidence of a team that is looking a little bit forlorn, it's a very perfect anti-eco round. And just those shutdown rounds up against a team like Alter Ego Celeste, the fact that they managed to keep it clean like that is going to be a very big confidence booster. You're going to need that on the defensive side, especially if you want to make those aggressive plays here. And so far, it looks like they're gaining that confidence to make those aggressive peaks, to make those checks here onto corners.
This is a very interesting looking toxic screen for Margot, cutting mid down in half in the vertical sense as well. So
yeah,
you're going to be able to get some control over mid, but the thing that you want to block off really is going to be the top of mid right now where Kefrodite is. She doesn't see them crossing through mid doors. There is that possibility though, so Envious watching this. Dodges the flash, but
Oh.
even with a double dink, unable to secure a kill. 4v5 now. They're looking to get their way onto its site. Rue will get spotted out. Aphrodite with the Ares raining hellfire upon them. Will be able to find two. So 3v3 retakes for RTS. Not too impossible.
This is actually already a successful bonus round here for Renatus White, but they want more. You obviously want to close that gap as much as possible. You do not want Celeste to get into double digits. And the only way to do that really at this point is to win those anti-ego rounds, to win those bonus rounds. That's exactly what they're doing. They found 3 kills already, and they're looking like they're finding more as Iceberg lands a couple of beautiful shots with the Guardian, runs out of bullets, but it's Tarathiel to back up her teammate. Kohaibi left stunned at that double peak, and Alter Ego Celeste, they find the double-digit scoreline.
There was a little bit of a team flash from Kohaibi, I think, unfortunately. But you gotta hand it off to Iceberg and Tarathiel. And the Guardian, the Vandal, they're cleaning up. And along with that, the 10th round win for Alter Ego Celeste. All they need is 3 more. Right now, gonna be a full buy. In fact, an operator coming out from Envious. Perhaps this could turn things back into RTS's favor.
I do imagine that, Renatus White, they're looking so good. That round almost went their way. They forced so many rebuys on the Celeste side that they're left on what is essentially scraps. They have, sure, 3 rifles, but they have still a Guardian and the Spectre onto Ayumi. Not the most ideal of choices for weaponry, especially on a large map. So the Seekers will be deployed. It's a good kill from Rue to start off the round here. Mochi X still around this corner. Will be taken down by Ayumi. The flash is good, but not good enough to get any more than just a 1 kill. And somehow, with just sheer tenacity and force of will, it's going to be Alter Ego Celeste to claim the site and actually get us into a 2v3.
Still, 2v3 is not impossible. Envious does have her Blade Storm. I don't want to count her out, but look at the positioning from Alter Ego Celeste. Complete and utter discipline. They are not peeking a single angle. If you're on the side of Renatus White right now, this is very, very scary. I mean, you got to think, where are they hiding exactly? You push on the site and you're not quite sure, and an operator is just that valuable. She does spot Ayumi out, though, but at this time, I think they only got about 10 seconds before the spike goes off, so backing off, opting for the save instead. Ayumi just toying with them a little bit more. Rue will be able to close that out, and of course, they get to hold on to their weapons, but 5-11 Elu, I'm not very comfortable with that scoreline.
Yeah, just too many rounds apart. They're just too far right now. And catching up to them on this relay, it's looking like an impossibility. They have a couple of good rounds, and unfortunately, like I said, they had to have done a little bit better on their attacking side. They ended the attacking side with 9-3, and against a coordinated offense like Alter Ego Celeste, they will play it so disciplined, so diligently, that they won't let you scrap together those wins that, they won't let you win those unwinnable rounds.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And I think it speaks to Renatus's confidence as well, the fact that they didn't go for that retake. This time around, they're gonna have to nail this, but Envious immediately gets picked off with kind of a one-tap from Margot. 4v5 now, and you gotta consider that the weaponry isn't the best, but Rue is actually able to pick up a double. The trades happen though, and all of a sudden we're left in a 3v2. Not the worst thing in the world. Kohaibi has light shields as well. They delay the plant with a snake bite. Rue going in for the peak, able to find the 3rd kill in this round. And all that's left is Iceberg, the lone survivor, dancing around the pyramids. What can she do?
Has to time things to perfection. Kohaibi's going for the long flank, just all the way around here. They've picked up a couple of Vandals. Iceberg misses the timing, I think, on the head, doesn't spot it. And eventually that should be it. Oh, spotted and tagged, but somehow still having the finesse to get that headshot when it really counts. And she's going to be looking for more as Iceberg actually gets that information onto where Mochi X is. Turns around, gets a beautiful flag, and it's Iceberg with a triple kill on a clutch situation. Waited for the flag, time to perfection, securing map point here for Alter Ego Celeste.
What in the Whiskey Tango Foxtrot was that, Elu? That is insane.
That should have never happened.
Oh, I gotta take a look at this replay. The instant snap on towards Rue's head, somehow sensing Kohibi's presence from the back. That's just, I don't know, man. That's high level game sense. She's able to tag down Mochi as well.
Oh, she stepped. Kohibi stepped. That's why she turned.
Footsteps.
Oh.
You hate to have it happen, but here we go. They're looking to close this out. Hunter's Fury already committed in towards the round. Viper's Pit, though, might just lock them out. The integrity of the smoke is dropping, though. Seeker's coming out to stall them even further as well, but counter Viper's Pit now. It's just domain expansion versus domain expansion. I'm sure somewhere Tanya is very happy about this, but still the main thing is that they got all this space on the site. They're getting the spike planted as well, and now Ayumi's just doing her thing. She's got her Judge up. She's got her Blade Storms. Oh my god, 3v4 now. Yes, they have to make this work.
It's just not happening. A good shot from Kohibi. Kohibi! Almost, but no cigar this time. Is going to be a very, very clean round yet again for the side of Alter Ego Celeste, and that's going to be it. The big W from Alter Ego Celeste. We expected it. But, oh my god, on their own map pick, just getting decimated like that. You got to feel for Renatus White. They put up a good show. But, like we said earlier on, Quack, just wasn't enough rounds on the attacking side to help them get into a secure second half.
It's just not enough. I mean, they started to kind of recover towards the end of the first half. You know, we talked about mid control, and then I guess maybe they heard us. They were starting to go towards that spot. But then it's just, it wasn't meant to be. I mean, I guess that maybe they lost too many rounds, and then of course over in the second half, you know, they were able to win the first 2 rounds, but after that, Alter Ego Celeste, they just completely overwhelmed them. There were rounds where they were just that fast on the rotates, perfectly reading them, and of course, I mean, that clutch, dude, is just, it's made of different things. They're built different.
Yeah, I do think that clutch was also a little bit of a misplay from Renatus White. If they had waited a little bit longer for that flank to come to fruition and not jump the gun on that, maybe Kohibi could have waited a little bit more patiently and called for a little bit of backup. Just unfortunately made a step, and then that just signaled for the turnaround 180 flick here. But it's so hard to account for flanks for clutches like that. Absolute masterclass performance yet again from Alter Ego Celeste, showing why they are the absolute best team in this entire open.
Yeah, it's as clear as day. I mean, you have great points, and I think this is a clear showing of why, you know, when we casters talk about teamwork and things like how tight they can play together, it shows, you know, Alter Ego Celeste, they are made of individual players, incredibly skilled, but they are able to pull off magical plays like that as well. On the other hand, Renatus, you know, they've got frags of their own. They've got, you know, skillful players of their own. The only thing is, teamwork, it's just still lacking just that little bit. So it's unfortunate, but you know what? Our next map is going to be split, and that is Alter Ego Celeste's map pick. What do you have to say about that, Elu?
You know, I do think split will be a completely different story. Or not. It's really going to be a time will tell sort of thing here. We do have to go into a short break, though. But when we do come back, it's going to be game number 2. We're going to be going in a split. Can Renatus White deny Alter Ego Celeste, who is the heavy favorite? Or will we see yet again another 2-0 here in the FSL Open number 7? We'll be right back. Don't touch that browser.
And welcome back, folks, to the FSL Valorant Circuit VCT Game Changers Southeast Asia. This is the 6th and final Open before FSL Open Overtime. We are your casters. Hey, I'm Quack, and with me is Illustrato. How are you doing? What do you think of the teams that we just saw, Ilu?
You know, look, man, just coming into this game, it did feel like it wasn't the Renatus White that we were looking for. Pardon, by the way, had a little bit of a technical issue. But so, yeah, like I was saying, Margot with the MVP on that. So many great rounds from her. Alter Ego Celeste, they came to play like they always do. But Renatus White, you know, we said this at the very beginning, Quack, that this is the chance after the departure of Magnifique, after KMO's disbanding. This is the chance for Renatus White to solidify themselves as a solid second place. This just wasn't the performance that we wanted to see from them, especially on their map pick. Now, what this means for them and the other teams is that if you're looking at Galaxy Racer, if you're looking at Oasis, now this is the chance for Oasis to be like, okay, if you can't stick it to Alter Ego Celeste, we're going to do it this time around.
Yeah, I definitely see what you're saying, but it's really tough for Renatus White to go up against a team like Alter Ego Celeste. I mean, I don't know. Like, even okay, this was Breeze. This was their map pick. They lost, and it's really unfortunate to see. I mean, it wasn't even as close as we wanted it to be. The next map is going to be Split, and that is kind of one of the hallmark maps of Alter Ego Celeste. And what do you think about that? If you're on the side of Renatus White right now, what do you do
You're gonna be
to
shaking.
prepare
You're
yourself for
shaking.
that?
You're basically quaking in your boots because look, Split is a map, and Split is a map that really highlights good team play. Split is a map that highlights strong fundamentals, especially in the defensive side. Split is a map where if you've got good fundamentals on the attacking side, you open up very large areas of the map. And guess what? Alter Ego Celeste, they have that in spades. They're going to be able to run circles around Renatus White if there's any holes in their defense at all. So we saw it, firsthand, how good Alter Ego Celeste are finding a tiny crack, a tiny hole in the offense or defense of a team like Renatus White and running with it. With that mid control that we saw in the previous round, it's looking like it's going to be more of the same here on Split.
Absolutely. I mean, like you said, this is a team. You give them an inch, they're going to take a whole freaking mile. Even if it's just something like map control, you've got no one watching over mid. Then you'll have players like Inari who are going to look to push into it, get some information, and then at that point, they basically know how you're playing. They know where you are located. It's just a matter of time before they take everyone in your squad out. Split might actually be even worse because just the way that the map is laid out, you talked about it, it kind of highlights solid fundamentals, but also it really comes down to team play. And I think the side which you start on is a very, very key factor here. If you start on a defense, you kind of have that inherent advantage that defense provides, and that is what Renatus are starting out on. But at the
Yeah.
same time, on attack, if you have those solid executes, if you know exactly where and when to place your smokes, where and when to push in together as a team, which, Alter Ego Celeste are full well capable of doing, it's not going to be easy to hold against them at all.
Especially when I think Renatus White are sort of struggling to find their own identity right now. Look, they just had a departure. I mean, Chloe just left the roster to take a little bit of a break. Rue is shifting up and changing into a Sentinel role. So there's a lot of adjustment. And when you have adjustments that are this big coming into a team, it only either goes one of two ways. You either go into this honeymoon phase where you wreck everybody, or you go into this massive adjustment period when things are going to be a little bit wonky for a while until you figure things out, or implode, either one. But it's looking like a little bit of the latter here for Renatus White, because I don't think they've found their groove yet. But it seems very similar to how Renatus White used to play before, because Renatus White, if you talk about a team that has the individual skills, if you talk about a team that has the aim to stick it to any top tier team, Renatus White, they have that. But what they don't have is right now, I think, the synchronicity, the crossfires, and the team play that a team like Alter Ego Celeste has demonstrated for us in every single open they've ever been in.
That's the keyword right there. I mean, that's what I was trying to think of, but I couldn't quite find it. Synchronicity. That is the difference between Alter Ego Celeste and Renatus White right now, because I mean, let's face it, both teams, both players, every single one of them are incredibly skilled. But when it comes to these tiny fine margins, things like, just double peaking at the same time, swinging together, pushing in together as a team, and timing all of your abilities at the same time, Renatus White kind of fall just that maybe inch short. And Alter Ego Celeste, they're just that solid.
I mean, when have you ever seen Alter Ego Celeste flash their teammates? It just doesn't happen, because they practice those flashes through and through, and they practice what we call situations where, okay, if we're forced into a 3v2, this guy goes down, you throw this flash here, and then we'll counterplay off of that and whatever. They have those setups, and they have them to a T. Meanwhile, you saw earlier on a little bit of, I'd say, apprehension from the side of Renatus White. Like, a lot of the flashes of Kohaibi went awry. Let's just face it. Some of those flashes you called out in the middle of the round where she would actually flash her teammates by mistake. These are things you can't afford to do up against a team like Alter Ego Celeste, who, like you said, if you give them an inch, they'll take an entire mile. And that's exactly what they did on Breeze.
That is very true. But I just want to cut Renatus White just a little bit of slack. They didn't perform that badly yesterday against Hashira. So,
not at all.
maybe it's just, going up against a team like Alter Ego Celeste, but you do have a point. They are adjusting, they are trying new things out. Kohibi used to play a lot of Reina. This time she's trying out Sky. It is looking like they're, kind of going through that really rough adjustment period, but who
It's
knows?
like a teen puberty.
Yeah, something
This
like
is the
that.
acne part where they kind of have to
Right.
hide a little bit and put on that makeup. Just,
Wear braces and you start
Wear
talking
braces.
like this, and something like that, right? But hey,
I'm
you know what
I'm
comes
getting
after that?
flashbacks.
Really, you wore? I didn't
No, I
think of that,
didn't.
but
No.
after all that acne and maybe a growth spurt here and there, you're gonna come up with a big glow up, and that's what we're all hoping for, really.
Oh yeah, I mean, the moment that you come out of puberty and then you suddenly look like a movie star, that's what we're hoping for Renatus White here, because they have the ingredients, right? They have the individual pieces to make a masterpiece of a team. But it doesn't look like they're finding that recipe just yet. It seems like there's a little bit of tweaking here and there, a little bit less salt, a little bit more energy, a little bit more teamwork, and it's really a very fine balance that we have.
Yeah, so you're gonna need that little bit of something, but we're gonna have to wait and see. But for now, it's going to be split. It's going to be Alter Ego Celeste's map pick. In fact, one of their strongest maps. They tried something absolutely crazy yesterday against WFX Wildfire Sphinx. They had 3 Sentinels. Are they going to do the same thing again today? We're not sure, but it looks like Renatus White are just going with one of their more comfortable picks, something that they used against Hashira yesterday as well.
Look, if you're going up against Celeste, you got to pick your most comfortable
agent.
agents.
Oh, yeah.
You got to pick those agents which will let you, just have that creativity and that finesse that will allow you to make master strokes of rounds and plays. Because it doesn't look like on the earlier lineups that we had that it was up for them, a little bit of clunkiness with the timings, a little bit of clumsiness with the abilities.
Oh my god.
But this time it's going to look completely different. Oh, yeah, you saw it. I saw it too. It's going to be Alter Ego Celeste with a little bit of a curveball here for us.
This is very, very much of a curveball. It's so different from what they used to play. I mean, they used to go for kind of what Renatus White are playing right now. You got the Raze, you got the Jet, and that is the Inari Ayumi combo. This time, 3 Sentinels, what they played against Wildfire Sphinx yesterday, I really don't know what to expect, dude. 0 duelists, 1 initiator in the form of Sky, and then you got Margot as the controller, Omen, and then 3 Sentinels, Elu. 3 Sentinels.
This just means one thing, that they want this defensive side down on lock. And they will let Renatus White do whatever they want, take as much map control as they want, but when it comes to the sites, Alter Ego Celeste, they're going to hold those down like it's the last thing they'll ever do. And this is going to be a very tough defense to break through here. On the attacking side, they're just going to play a little bit more passive, a little bit more coordinated, no really hard entries, only really the flashes coming in there for Inari. This is something that you're going to bring this out in the tournament at this stage. This is something that you've practiced a lot over the previous months, all in your scrims, in your practice sessions, in your map talks. This is something that they have already run thoroughly in the previous couple of weeks or months.
I certainly hope so. If not, I'm going to have a bunch of questions for Sleepy, Alter Ego's coach, who is casting on the Bahasa Indonesia stream right now. But yeah, it's a very, very weird thing. I mean, I don't know what to think about this. You got 3 Sentinels. I mean, we could talk about this for quite a bit. I mean, in fact, let's go into it. Why would this composition, or why wouldn't it work, actually, Elu?
Okay, the way I see this not working is that on the attacking side, they just don't have the, I'd say, like, if they make a wrong read on the attacking side, and suddenly that's where your Killjoy is, and then suddenly it's being supported by a Sage or like a really good Jet, it's hard to punish that Jet. It's hard to punish that Killjoy because you don't have that hard entry, and you don't have that Sova to give you that recon, that information there. Sure, you do have a little bit in the form of Sky, but you might not be able to break into the sites that you want as easily. However, on the defensive side, you do have so much room for error because you have that Killjoy and you have that Cypher to give you all the information you could ever want and more. And what something like Alter Ego Celeste, what a team like Alter Ego Celeste is good at is using information and denying information to their opponents here. So they're going to be playing the information game for majority of this defensive side and using that intel to win on the mid round and on the late round.
Exactly. And that is kind of what they did against Wildfire Sphinx yesterday. I seem to recall Key kind of making a joke or something about it, whereby Wildfire Sphinx on the attack, they wanted to push into sites, but A and B were just filled with traps. I mean, it's like a landmine, and you're not quite sure where to walk into. You walk somewhere, and who knows? Nanostorm gets popped. You walk somewhere else, you get tripwired. So on defense, yeah, that would be the thing. But on attack, like you said, it's not going to be that easy to create space. I mean, the best you got, maybe Margot with her paranoia, and Neri with the lights. But aside from that, the rest of the squad, how do you do it?
Okay,
I'm not sure.
Before I get into that, here's what I'm going to ask you, Quack. A very, very important question now that we're on technical timeout. This is of utmost importance. When I say your name, Quack, would you rather have me say Quack or Wank?
Can you do the second one again?
Wank.
Yeah, I love that.
Okay.
That's good.
Okay, from now on, every caster you'll ever work with, every single talent, that's how they address you. Done.
Sure.
Signed. Lock it in.
Signed, sealed, and delivered. But here we go. The game's gonna start, and already Alter Ego Celeste trying to pull off a B split. The wall goes up, but so will the smokes. I mean, they have to be careful about how they approach this. That's 3 players in towards mid, not a commitment in towards B yet. They're kind of hovering around garage right now, Yulu.
Just a little bit of information gathering right now from the side of RTS as they look for a little bit of an avenue that they could maybe exploit, but it doesn't look like they're gonna be given that much. I mean, the offensive side, they have worked their way towards this rope here, but like I said, man, just the information that they can gather on RTS side, it's gonna be enough right now because they only have 2 players on the A. It's the Killjoy right now. Oh my god, wait, Son, timing. The timing, Tarathiel just walks by that smoke. They just walk in. Full contact play, nobody even watching that angle, and Renatus White just looking befuddled. How they suddenly died out of nowhere.
Okay. Finally, some sense of normalcy. We got Aphrodite and Envious here to save the day. They're coming in from the back. They're coming in from stairs. But then Tarathiel just finds a quick headshot. Aphrodite, can she pull off these clutches? She only has a classic. Finds a dink and then tags one down. It's a Yumi who falls. Picks up the ghost. 1v2 still doable. She has about 20 seconds-ish maybe left, but dropping. It's going to signal the peaks from Tarathiel and her teammate Iceberg coming in to close this out. They made it close, but it's just not close enough again.
That should never happen, that Alter Ego are just allowed to walk into B site and kill 2 players on the defense. That's just cardinal sin of split.
Oh man.
And I know that the Sentinel was holding A site, but if you have the Sentinel holding A and they have control over, they've given control over B heaven, there might as well be somebody watching that B side. The timings didn't go their way, and so Alter Ego will secure a very, very unconventional but still convincing round.
It's very, very weird. I mean, you got your walls up and you just think that you're safe, but then Alter Ego comes in and pulls off something like this. Tarathiel with the Spectres right now as well. They're just looking to claim this site wherever it is. It's going to be A ramps right now, but of course the trades happen regardless. Mochi YX, only player alive, coming in with a classic. What can she do? They already know where she's probably going to come from, and then Aneri just sprays her face full of bullets, so it's kind of what you expect, Elu. And once you give Alter Ego Celeste those few rounds, they're going to start to snowball.
And this is starting to get scary here. Alter Ego Celeste, look, this is their attacking side. This is the side that we said.
Sentinels, dude.
they have 3 sentinels and they're still breaking through the sides. Okay, but this is gonna be the real test. The gun round versus the bonus round here. And if they can somehow recreate that success, even with this lineup, even with this lesser weaponry, then I'm going to believe that this has all the makings of a complete stomp here for Alter Ego Celeste.
I don't want to believe it. I don't want to believe it. And thankfully, Kohivi will prove me right. She's able to make it a quick trade. 3v4 now. And then further information gathered by the Boombot. She knows Marco is somewhere around mid. So they're just going to eye this site down like a hawk. Question is, though, where's the rest of the team? They're kind of working their way around this position as well, but then instantly contacted. Kohivi will drop. The wall goes up as well, just to push the rotates even further back. Still, though, Mochi might just be able to hold things off. He is the one on B Heaven as well, but it's going to be Alter Ego Celeste pumping the brakes. They know not to commit into this.
Just the HP onto Envious is already enough to give a little bit of concern here. Ayumi's going to find another one on Aphrodite. That's a Sentinel gone. Fortunately, it's a trade from MochiX, and MochiX gets one. MochiX finds a second, but it's still a 1v1. Low HP on Envious, but still a little bit of time here. A little bit of a respite from the pressure of this round. The spike will be going down shortly. Margot will be allowed to get it. But that's going to be Envious to win the round. It was a very, very risky and expensive round for RTS, but they secure it nonetheless.
We'll be able to secure it now. The next question in my mind is, having lost 4 players on a round that they full bought, will they be able to buy again? Well, I'm just going to have to take a look at that real soon, but I mean, just for now, you're starting to see the same things. Alter Ego Celeste, I mean, they know how to play information and control to the max, and yeah, I was right. Oh man, Spectres, a Judge, and then you're going against the rifles from Alter Ego. I am just not comfortable at all.
Yeah, no, just because, look man, if you're on the bonus round and you get 4 kills in a spike plant, that's a very, very big sign of things to come here for Alter Ego Celeste. And Renatus White, they're going to have to pull something special if they want to make this happen. But the ultimates, they're stacking for Alter Ego Celeste right now. That was the Seekers gone. They still have the res. They still have the lockdown if they need it. Meanwhile, on RTS side, they don't have ultimates. Hell, they barely have weaponry. How are they going to make this round work? It's going to take a lot of digging to find an advantage where there is none.
Hopefully, they'll be able to dig deep. Dig themselves towards a corner that is advantageous.
No way she wins that.
Oh my god. She just walked right into that and instantly flicked. Envious was unable to respond at all, and right now, Mochi falling. This could be the collapse of the B site. Lockdown is available as well for Ayumi, like you mentioned. She goes in, maybe gets the spike planted. The rest of the team trying to make their way up mid. They get denied by Aphrodite. Coming up with the triple. Okay, not too bad. She might be able to pick up a free weapon upgrade. 1v2 though. She has her lockdown available as well, but Yumi's has not been deployed yet.
And Aphrodite is making a lot of noise here.
Man,
Position is
much.
Yeah, and this is the she did. The moment she drops this. Oh wait, looking for the ace here. 4 kills already on Aphrodite. Can she do the magic yet again? Can Clutch Aphrodite live up to the name one more time, just when Renatus White needs it the most? Has 12 HP, basically a breath away from getting taken down. But can she find the moment of magic? Can she find that inspiration? The time is going. Time is ticking away. Ayumi looking to swing. And Aphrodite with the ace, but no health. No time to make that defuse happen. Clutch Aphrodite comes this close to living up to her namesake yet again, but at the very last is denied by Ayumi.
So close, Elu, so close, but it just gets snatched away. And I think the Nano Swarm was the thing that did it. Triple Sentinels are here for a reason, but the Goddess of Clutch, she's starting to wake up. I mean, they just need a few more rounds like that, and we might just see RTS making this a close one. Still, though, man, it's just not enough. Alter Ego Celeste right now, this could be the start of it all. I mean, the snowball might turn into an avalanche. They're 3-1 right now, and still with the Vandals, still with the rifles, they're pushing up a ramp.
Envious comes this close to getting her haircut a little bit prematurely here. They find her. It's a good shot right there from Aphrodite to do a little bit of damage, but that's all she's going to be able to do. Now Margot working that long angle. stuck in that spawn area. Is able to find out 2 big kills. Envy is still alive, getting a good kill with that Sheriff. Now has the blades available if she so elects to use it, but it's still a 2v4 here. And that's a good flash right now to force them off of it. Another one to follow it up. And the peek is good from Envious. Envious is lining up these shots here. Has another chance to bring it huge here. Brings down Margot to 40 HP. But the time is not in their favor, and neither is the positioning. They know where one is. They know where both are by this point here, but can they break through this crossfire setup? It's looking like a no, as Margot cleans up 4. It comes up massive for Celeste.
They knew where they were. All they had to do was to left click and spray past those dark covers, all those smokes. And unfortunately, even with the headshots, even with the flicks on the Sheriffs, RTS will not be able to secure that round. It's 4-1 right now, and this might just spiral out of control. I've been saying this, but Envious looking to even things out. She purchases an operator. Very expensive. They're gonna have to make this one work.
This is their defensive side, and so they're going to have to come up with something quite special here. But it's looking like a full send here for Alter Ego Celeste.
Oh, man.
Mochi X, behind this flower pot, hasn't been spotted out just yet. And if she can actually get at least 1 or 2, trigger discipline not there, but it's enough to get her 1. And that's going to be enough for the spike to go down by a little bit of time for the rotation. But that's the lockdown to give Alter Ego Celeste a wide berth of time to get that spike down.
You said it, dude. Very wide. They got so much time and basically full control over the site. They're in towards their safe positions as well. And then Margot.
Did she DC?
Maybe. That's so unfortunate, though.
Oh, that's heartbreaking.
And then Margot is on the hunt. She wants to take that operator out of Envious's hands. I don't think they want to go for this retake anymore. Envious signaling trouble. Caper Daddy tries to find her, but then gets shut down. Margot just playing ever so patiently. Holds the angle now, Envious. Oh, no!
Wow.
Can't even connect it. Go Ivy, though. She's going to get suffocated right here. One from stairs, one from spawn. Not much you could do. I mean, it's
they need to take a timeout.
Yeah.
They need to take a timeout right now. Maybe not even just a technical timeout, whatever timeout, just to breathe, because they're missing shots that they should hit. They're missing the reads that should be fairly straightforward. And Alter Ego Celeste, it looks like Renatus White are being taken for a ride by these girls, and definitely not a ride that you'd want to enjoy. Look, man, it's just the usage of utility. I think that's a little bit off for Renatus White. The reads are just not going their way, and they're missing their shots. Everything seems to be falling apart. Every single aspect of the game. Renatus White, they're getting the brunt end of the stick here.
Yeah, I mean, it's really, really unfortunate, and Eco not on their side right now as well. I really don't quite know what to say for this, but I mean, you're just watching this work. I'm still very, very, very befuddled as to how this works. I mean, you got 3 Sentinels. Why is this working so well, Elu?
It's because there is just, first of all, there's no way that you can ever imagine in any reality or any alternate timeline that you can push aggressively into this 3 Sentinel attacking side. There's just anti-flanks everywhere. Like, you can't even consider it. Second of all, the information gained by Alter Ego Celeste is just so... there's just so much. There's just so much information that they use to inform their mid-round and late-game decisions. And if we're going by the history books here, Alter Ego Celeste, a lot of their best performances come from the mid-game, where they have some information and make the right calls as to what to do with that information.
Yeah, I mean, earlier you called this a ride that they're not quite enjoying. It really is kind of like one of those roller coasters that goes all the way up and then just swings all the way down. And RTS, they're suffering because of this. You talk about information, and that's exactly what AEC are so good at, abusing and even using. Look at the way that Inari uses her Trailblazer to get information. Look at how someone like Iceberg uses her cameras, but I think we might have some issues with the game right now, Elu.
Yeah, and okay, we're back. We're back.
I thought the server crashed or something.
You guys all right there? Okay, they're fine. They're fine. We're
Okay,
back
cool.
into the game. Yeah. All's well and good here.
Oh.
All right, so I think what happens is we rolled back one round just for you guys at home. So yeah, we did roll back one round. So I don't know if this is still 5-1. Is it 5-1 or 4-1?
I'm not too sure.
We'll have to check with our production on this. Hopefully they'll be able to tell us. Yeah, we'll get back to you on this, but it looks like we rolled back around, and I think it should be 4-1 right now, as RTS still have money. This is a little bit of a mulligan,
right.
and I think it has to do with the fact that Rue disconnected
Yeah.
at the start of the round, and they weren't able to pause it in time. I think.
It's probably what it was. So we're back into this, basically a repeat of the round that we just saw. Envious back on the operator. Hopefully able to play it around differently this time, but like you said before, Elu, it's just AEC again with the full send up towards A ramps, in towards A, and this time Rue isn't the one positioned in towards the back of the flower pot. In fact,
Wow.
Envious goes in for the peak, immediately gets shut down. They have full control over the site, lockdown being deployed. We talked about White Birth earlier on. I mean, right now it's the same exact thing.
They have a res available for the side of both Alter Ego actually, and Renatus White. Can they actually do it? This wall is very much bangable, the one that Inari is hiding right behind with a flash in her hands. So there is a chance that they could sniff this one out, but it doesn't look like it just yet, as Aphrodite will be working her way towards heaven. It's gonna be the jiggle peek and the flash alongside it. Rue wins regardless. The trade is so immediate. And the trades from Alter Ego Celeste have just been perfect. Another example of the flawless team play by Alter Ego Celeste has manifested once more before our eyes.
It's so, I mean, clean. The way they just push in, they're fearless. I don't know how they do it, but they just do it every time. These girls are so confident. They fully trust their skills, their aim, their shooting, and they just gain control over this site. I mean, they pushed in, deployed the lockdown. The rest of RTS, I mean, even someone like Envious, you know, one of the top fraggers usually for Renatus, tries to go in for a peek, immediately gets shut down because of a Vandal. So here we go, round number 7. They are on the Sheriffs this time around, trying to deny any form of map control. Don't want to give them too much space, but for how long can they actually hold on to this? Ayumi has actually been able to push up into this holding this pixel angle in towards B Garage. This is very, very scary.
Timing could go her way, we'll see, but it looks like Rue is going to be getting nothing for now. It's Aphrodite who takes down one before getting traded away. That's a very important kill for Aphrodite because that's the spike. This is the spike being dropped towards B main. He's going to give up control over B main because they know. Oh my gosh, here Envious just missing the blades onto Margot there, leaving us into a Nun v5 as Aphrodite falls before she gets an opportunity to get another kill. 6-1, and rollback or not, Alter Ego Celeste have once more found the nail in the coffin on that round for Renatus.
That was awesome. I gotta ask you, did you say 1v5 or none v5?
I said none v5.
Yeah.
Because they were
As
dead.
soon as we were starting to talk about it, the kills just happened.
Aphrodite just died. Like the
Oh
moment.
my god. Yeah. Oh man. This is it's split, but it's turning into a graveyard. And right now, Alter Ego Celeste back towards A. They're being okay. Interesting. They're in towards sewer, pushing back in towards mid. The rest of the squad, though, on RTS, they're trying to play or gather as much information as possible, but I don't think they're going to find much.
I'm just honestly quite worried as to how the defensive side is going to go, if this is
Oh, man.
already how the attacking side looks here for Alter Ego Celeste. It's very scary. It's a very frightening prospect. They don't have a single
Yes.
duelist, and yet they're finding the entries after... Oh,
How?
again?
That shouldn't have happened. I mean, Envious saw the cyber cage. She should
That was
have
an
known.
Yeah, that was an angle for her any day, all day, and somehow she gets snuffed out by Iceberg.
Oh my god. And then the Seeker is baiting the peaks from Kohibi plus Mochi. Site control granted. Now it's 5. Rue stuck in towards vents.
Look
Can't
at that.
even- My god.
It's just a clean dissection of Renatus White here, and
Uh-oh.
Aphrodite even gets spotted out by the alarm bot. Whew. Man, if you are Renatus White, you are scratching your heads thinking, how the hell do we beat this ridiculous no duelist lineup on the offense? And you've got to be tilted by this. You're probably thinking, look, they don't have a single duelist, and yet they're entering on us like it's nothing. They're dry peeking every single angle and winning them.
You're scratching your head, I'm scratching my head, they're scratching their heads. You just have absolutely no idea. I mean, if this were ranked, and your team,
I'd have
your
quit
squad,
like 6 rounds ago.
I know. Well, this is Alter Ego Celestè, and this is what they are good at for whatever reason. And you can definitely see the mental game starting to shape up. Renatus, they're not feeling it right now. The way that they're playing, the positions that they're holding at the same time. It's one of those things where you feel like you cannot peek a single angle. Every time you do so, you get shut down.
I'm feeling right now for Renatus White because they've had a couple of great rounds, a couple of good performances here, but just unable. We saw glimpses of the legendary storied Aphrodite, but even that was very much nullified. Showstopper goes a little bit rose away, but Yumi is able to capitalize on that whiff. Now it's still a 3v5, and this should be fairly straightforward of a round here as Rue is able to get one, sure, and a close range angle. This might actually work out for her.
She's holding on to it, but guess what? The spike has already been picked up, and they're delivering all the way over on towards the A site. Envious, though, just pushes forward. They're able to find one more frag, but then Margot with the trades. They definitely did not expect that position, but the res comes in handy. 3v2 right now. They've got the weapons. They've got the weaponry. Maybe not the shields. Will they be able to make this work?
Oh no, and Neri. She's got massive position here. And on this off angle, the likeliness that she wins that duel is just uncanny.
No!
Oh my god, the beautiful second shot from Inari. The lockdown coming in, still a 1v1. The clutch for Daidi just gets spotted. The shoulder was enough for the wall bang onto Rathiel. Easy victory right there as Alter Ego Celestè will secure their 8th.
Man, this is incredible. The Singaporean side of me wants to root for RTS, but you're just seeing how incredibly good Alter Ego Celestè are. I mean, maybe not so much of the incredible clutches and multi-frags that we all know and love, but look at the positioning. We got players like Margot knowing to hide around vents, and then Inari, off of that information, positions herself up towards ramp. They're just waiting for this. They're waiting for them to walk into the crosshairs, and they are nailing every shot. Right now, though, Envious making it a quick trade. She drops her operator thanks to a Yumi. Or is it Inari? But here we go. They're trying to push in towards A once more.
Yeah, if they can find a little bit of a lifeline in this half, it has to be now. An 8-4 might be acceptable, but they have to find the decisive blow as soon as possible.
No.
Seekers. It's coming out here, and it's already starting to sniff away where Renatus White is. And yet again, Rue is going to get picked off right above her head here. Aphrodite is good for an opening pick, but she's all alone on site right here. And they're actually rotating all the way through vents. The call will come in that there are footsteps. That's going to be the flash from Monchi X. Is able to blind up one, but they've got a firing squad lined up. The wall actually saves her life as it allows time for the rotation to come in. It's now a 2v2. This is looking quite possible for Renatus White, but that's the From the Shadows going to be deployed just to be a little bit more difficult for Alter Ego to read the situation.
They're reading it. They got 30 seconds left, but they're thinking of rotating back towards the A site. And if you're on the side of RTS right now, you might have been the one to think, like, I'm trying to pull the rug out from underneath them. I'm using my From the Shadows, positioning myself in towards Garage. Just as that happens, Alter Ego Celestè, they pull one up from under you.
10 seconds left.
They're going in towards A. 10 seconds. The spike will be able to go down, and man, RTS are just a second late. Aphrodite wants to go in for this, but can't quite get it.
Just the wool over their eyes right now is... Oh my god. That perfect swing out from Tarathiel to shut down Aphrodite yet again. Mochi X, good flash, is able to get away from it. It's a nice tap. Has the information on one, but can't land the second. It's a good attempt at the clutch here, but again, the economy doesn't matter at this point. It's the rounds that really start to count. And on a 9-1, Alter Ego Celeste are running away with this game.
This snowball has become an avalanche at this point, and yeah, even in terms of economy, I mean, it might not matter as much, but round number 11, and you're just seeing how crushing this is for Renatus White, and it's very, very unfortunate.
I mean,
even
who could
down to that
imagine
1v1? It was close,
exactly.
but-
Who could imagine though that a no duelist 3 Sentinel could just be so oppressive on the attacking side?
When you're
Just
that
saying.
sharp, maybe, I guess, but
Yeah.
I mean, okay, I'm not like you're not seeing that in, like the many incredible, you know, super smart things in terms of like executes, but the way that they push them together, look at what they're doing right now. In towards mid, in towards mailroom, they go. They're together as a squad.
Oh.
Someone's watching the back, and that's why NVS gets shut down. Aphrodite though might be able to. I just wanted to say it, but then pushing into the smoke, she gets denied. Kohaimi, last one alive, won't be able to find much as well. The way that they're pushing together as a team, clearing out every single corner, watching every angle, it's perfect.
These girls have probably, man, it feels like they're playing R6 a little bit. Like they're kind of,
Oh my god, I know.
they've got like, you know, this timer in their heads where like, okay, at 30 seconds in we should have control over this, and then they take it. At 45 seconds in we should have at least control over mail or be heaven or something like that.
Yes.
And the moment that push comes to shove, they have the timing on when to execute onto the site. And the way that they play it together, like as a unit, they cover each and every one's angles. One's holding the flank, one's just pushing for information, one's going for the flashes. It's clinical.
It absolutely is, and right now it's the A site under siege. The way that they're going to approach this is going to be absolutely methodical and definitely a joy to watch right now underneath Heaven.
Wow.
Already holding the angle. Aphrodite gets shut down. The rest of the squad as well trying to gain some semblance of control over Heaven, but Rue is going to deny it this time. Double kill, and then backs off because of the lockdown. 2v3. Still difficult.
Kill my
Oh, and then
You see-
the rest.
You see what I mean, though? They have the aim, they have the individual skill. It's just that AC are so methodical about how they clear out all these angles, about how they take possession of the site. And now they're getting flanked as well.
Oh.
Mochi X, the swing out from Ayumi is able to net her a triple. And we're gonna end this half 11-1, Quack.
You know what that means? 11-1. On this second half, if you lose pistol,
You're done.
yep, that's pretty much, you know, wash your hands. It's. I don't think there's much that you can do at that point. You force buy on the second round, and then what? You're fighting match point every round of the way. It's. You cannot afford to lose pistol right now. But
You can't even afford to lose bonus.
oh my god, yeah. But you're talking. We talked about this. This is where AEC are playing on defense with triple sentinels, Zilu.
Yeah.
Oh
I
my
don't.
god.
I just don't favor their odds on this one at all. No.
But let's take a look and break down their setup. Okay, we got some tripwires in towards mailroom. We got a camera in towards B garage, and then the Killjoy setups on A.
But it's a full send, isn't it? It's a full send towards A. So
Could work.
It's gonna be a tough one. They will be trying to break through. They go full towards Heaven. 4 players. Good swing out from Envious, and Nari's right there for the trade. Flash out of the smoke, and it's enough
Oh
to
my
blind
God.
one. Almost gets the adjustment on the second, but Gohaibi will find the refrags that she does need. Does help to have a little bit of a duelist in your team for once. It actually is paying off for them. Now it's a 3v2, and the right clicks just don't connect. It will be Rue who does finish that duel off for her teammate, though. But in this 1v1, the timing just doesn't go her way. Iceberg, that's the spike. By the way, that's the spike that she's just dropped, and this round that should have been going to RTS now is looking to be Celeste's.
My heart is sunken, Elu. My heart is absolutely sunken. They had the numbers advantage. What happened? And right now, Camera getting the information that they need. She is able to retrieve the spike. Are you gonna hightail it all the way over onto the B site? You can do that, Mochi. And you will. Spike gets planted, and then
30
what?
seconds left.
You got Iceberg on your tail. She's being careful about this as well. It's a full-on 1v1. You've got the classic. You've got your full light shields. Mochi not even going
Spike
for,
planted.
Iceberg not even going for a ghost or anything. They're just going for this gunfight back to back, and Mochi will nail her head. Thankfully, winning the pistol for RTS. Bonus round now. Please, please don't lose this round, RTS.
Yeah, this is the eco round that they've got. And so they, I think everybody right now, they're hoping for a closer game, and sign. But if this comeback, the scoreline is a mountain to climb, this is Everest right now, and this is Everest in the winter. It's just almost impossible to do it. It's gonna take nothing short of a Sisyphusian effort to get them over that scoreline. I just don't see it happening.
Everest in winter. It's what you said. Very, very tall. Still though, the Spectres might just be able to shave a little bit of ice out of that mountain. Maybe they'll be able to scale their way up. And that's a very big maybe, because Iceberg is holding down this angle. She got her teammate, Aneri, there to back her up as well with the judge. Finds one headshot, immediately gets traded. Nice Cloudburst to hold Iceberg off, plus the blast packs. Okay, they get control of his site. Spike gets planted. 1v4 right now. This should be their round.
Yeah, Yumi's gonna go for exits here. And if she can take away maybe one gun out of the hands of Alter Ego Celeste, from Renatus White, it's going to be a big deal here because, like we said, they can't afford to lose any more rounds. And if they go into the next round with a broken economy, it's going to be a challenge, especially up against the whole rifle of Celeste. And she does. Somehow she still does.
Okay. What the heck? You feel the timing on that. She hears the footsteps, instantly goes in for a jump shot with the shorty. Thankfully there's a trade. Alter Ego Celeste, man. But right now, okay, you lost a couple of members. You're able to go against this. Aneri still with the judge. You got 3 Vandals, 1 Spectre on the side of AEC. Pretty much 2 rifles and then 3 Spectres on RTS. It's still kind of difficult, man. 11-3.
This is up in the air for sure here. But, oh my god, the fade away from Ayumi. Look at that. In the middle of repositioning, just able to get a tap right before she falls into safety.
Flawless mechanics, dude. The way she even controls her strafe shooting, it's pixel perfect accuracy. Most people, I think you might lose that, first round accuracy or something, but
nope,
she's nailing it. And still, it's going to be RTS on the attack, and they're trying to make a quick adaptation to this, pushing down in towards ropes. Aphrodite holding it if anyone tries to peek. Iceberg kind of going something, but not going to find anything just yet. The rest of the squad, though, able to push back up. Aphrodite comes out right now, and Peekaboo is going to be the shot. Oh. The wall. What? Oh. Okay. The kill still happens regardless. Not too bad. They know Aneri's up in screens. Come on. Get control of the side. Get the spike planted. The Seekers are coming for you.
Aphrodite is able to hold the line for now. 3 kills, but it's still a 2v2. This is the bonus round, so to speak, and they actually have very bad economy if Renatus White lose this, and they don't want to give up match point. So this 2v2 right now could be the most important one of this game. And right now, the positioning is all in favor of Alter Ego Celeste as they're able to work their way onto site. Tarathiel gets 1. It's a good trade right now. Margot finds herself on the spike, smokes herself off the angle. We'll check just to make sure. And that spray is good from Rue, guessing correctly. And Margot will be taken out of that picture. And RTS, they have a lifeline. There's a heartbeat for now on their team.
There is. It's not too bad. 4-11, still in Everest, but maybe not so much in the winter anymore. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I think they've bought themselves a little bit of a chance here. I mean, it's still a long way to go, and if there's any indicator of how Split has been in the previous couple of months here for the SEA teams, not just FSL teams but SEA teams in general, then Split has been a lot more attacking sided. So this could be a chance here up against Alter Ego Celeste.
There's a chance. Still, though, 3 Sentinels. I don't want to count them out. Look at the
Mm.
way they're positioned, even. Holding all of these off-angle-ish types, and you got 4 players in towards B. No one on A. RTS, if they're actually able to sniff out that nice little bit of information, they should be able to walk away with this round flawlessly.
I like the play here from RTS. It's perfect for this situation. Alter Ego Celestè going for a retake in A and doing a multiple player stack, 4-man stack here towards B. This is a gamble, but this is a gamble that's going to pay off not for Alter Ego Celestè, but rather for Renatus White. And especially when you have three Sentinels, you don't want to be playing retake because you don't have any hard entries to the site. However, it's a good pickoff from Ayumi to land a kill onto Envious right there, and that's going to allow some access through the ropes as we're going to be going to that A side. Nobody here for that hold, and it's going to be a 4v4 retake.
Not too bad. They get a bit of information as well. They know someone is towards elbow. A little bit of flash as well. Kohabi knows this. Should be able to get all of these kills. There's one more, and that's Iceberg in from heaven. Not quite the flawless, but yeah. There we go.
It's a decent round, decent enough, and the fact that Renatus actually have managed to keep all their, most of their rifles rather, and a lot of their ultimates in check, allows them a better chance at taking this round for themselves. There's a couple of lockdowns available on this lobby in the server for now, as both of the Killjoys will have it available. But in terms of ultimate economy, RTS, they're looking a lot better here. Even the operator now coming out for Alter Ego Celestè, though, that could be what they need to find the opening pick into this game. Now, they're gathering their forces here towards B, and it's looking like it's going to be a B split. But this 4-man stack here with Alter Ego Celestè could prove to be so difficult to break through regardless of lockdown.
Yeah, I don't know if I like this lockdown. At most, it'll be able to create quite a bit of space, but information has been given up, and AEC will be able to exploit it as soon as it happens. I mean, they're just biding their time right now. They see Envious dashing down in towards Hell, and they've gotten control over Heaven. Question is, will they be able to do much with it? Envious goes back in for a little bit of a peek. Suppressive fire just to push them off. Spike goes down. Lockdown gets deployed. They have no choice but to back out of this.
There's 5 people there towards B main as well, and they're going to get smoked off. They could stick us. No one has the position.
Oh, no.
They could try to spam for it, though, if they get lucky. No one's sticking onto the spike just yet, and they have to let go of it, and they're going to push all in here towards B main. It's Marco with a triple, Ayumi and Inari to close off that round, and it's Alter Ego Celestè to win this one out, and what a round to take. It's match point for them, and a great read, and a great, even better retake from the side of Celestè.
Just a masterful counterplay from Alter Ego Celestè. They saw the lockdown. They knew they'd be pushing in to get the spike planted. And what do? They just wait. You know, we got a counter lockdown as well, and there's nothing that RTS can do against that. So, Elu, we talked about Everest, we talked about Winter, but Winter is coming. Winter is coming.
And it's looking like RTS, they're looking very Jon Snow right now, as they have no idea how to defeat this defensive side. They've gotten a couple of good rounds here, but those were off the back of a pistol victory. Now they're going to have to land some nice shots, and Ari with a lineup with the operator. The collateral is good, looking for the third, and that's Ayumi with a triple here. An absolutely massive job for her team. The Sentinel looking to hold strong, and hold the door she will, as it's triple kill from her into Raphael to work that Heaven angle. Now in a 1v5, kept Aphrodite, also known as Clutch Aphrodite, the spike nowhere near her possession. And this has to be the game. This has to be the round from Alter Ego Celestè now. It's going to be a good lineup 1-2, but it's going to amount to nothing, as it's a 13-5 final scoreline yet again for Alter Ego Celestè. They take the series 2-0.
I wanted to hold the door for K490, but it just can't happen. She managed to pick up a double kill, but it's just not enough, and that is Alter Ego Celestè doing their thing. I mean, when they have the numbers advantage, when they know where you are, they're just gonna rush you down. That's exactly what happened. And all because I think that one round, a little bit of a misplay. They thought they had the side, but then the counterplay happens, and it's Alter Ego Celeste coming away with a win. That's 2-0, Elu. 2-0.
2-0. And, you know, like you said, they knew it was coming, but there was no way that they could have gotten the spot onto it. They were all forced off the site. The smoke was still available for Celeste. And so even if you do spray through it and hope to maybe tag the diffuser, it's just really not, you know, something that they can rely on very much. What they needed to have done is if they had maybe a Sova, if they had some lineups with a Brimstone, or even just a couple of Nano Swarms on site,
I was
that would have
thinking
helped them down
Nanoswarm,
a
right?
lot.
But it's just
There were none, and there were 5 players getting onto the site.
Oh man, and yeah, especially in a spot like Garage, you want to push out of it. No, that is the valley of death right there. When you got the full AEC squad spraying down that one little angle, no chance.
I saw it coming. Like the moment they all started pushing out through Garage, I'm like, oh no, this is that. That's never gonna end well, especially if you don't have the utility, because it's like you're retaking the site twice. You know, you've already taken the site once and you used your lockdown to do it. But then the second time it came out, well, they didn't have a lockdown with them or basically any more utility because they all used it on the initial take. And so they just got mowed down the moment they tried to swing out from and emerge from that smoke.
It's just, oh my gosh, Alter Ego. I mean, that might have been, you know, an incredible play on its own. But then you got a Yumi with an operator. She picks up Colette, and then the triple. Things are just falling apart. It's crumbling. It's very unfortunate for RTS, but you know what? They still stay in this tournament, and I think they're just going to get sent into the lower brackets.
Yeah, they will, but there's still another chance for them. It's going to be a tough lower bracket because they still have to compete with either Galaxy Racer. You know, they could still go up against Oasis. We'll check on how those games are also doing when we come back from this, though, because we do have to take a little bit of a short break. When we come back from it, we are going to be continuing with the last series of the day. It's going to be a spicy one as it's WXR going up against Hashira. So stay tuned for that. And again, we'll be back here on FSL.